now just speak a little bit about the hotel openings themselves. So starting north to south, we're going to start with Venice. Cadidio was a property that first was considered to be, or supposed to be a part of the Grand Melia brand, but eventually it became a sister property to the Donna Camilla Savelli property in Trastevere. So this nice property will have 66 rooms, and as you can see, it has a beautiful garden, and it's located right past the Londra Palace, in front of the main dock where the Venetian yachts are located, are docked. So if your clients ever came to Venice by private yacht, this is roughly the location just before the Giardini of where the Biennale takes place. The second property in Milan is an exciting opening of the Roccoforte, taking over the former Baglioni property on Via della Spiga. And this is part of the Golden Triangle, so right at the very heart of the shopping street of Milan. And Roccoforte is planning to make it 70 rooms property. The opening will probably not happen before 2023. But Roccoforte had their eye on a property in Milan for many years. First was supposed to be the Grand Hotel and other properties as well. And we're very grateful to have such a fine brand now taking over and opening here in Milan as well. Another great opening in Milan is the Portrait. As you know, Portrait has smaller properties in both Rome and in Florence. It's what we know as a boutique hotel, but here they have quite a grand opening. The colors are definitely Ferragamo colors. It's about 5 minutes walk between the Bulgari and the other properties in the center, such as the Mandarin Oriental, on the other side, further away from the Duomo. So again, very exciting, beautiful new opening. It's an old monastery right in the heart of Milan, and Milan is very fortunate to have so many great new openings. I mean, alongside of the Mandarin and the Bulgari, the Four Seasons, Palazzo Parigi, for those who are familiar with it, now having both the Lungarno collection and Roccoforte, it's quite a major addition to the city. Piedmont, I know many of you have asked us about Piedmont in recent years. So Piedmont is an area that has been almost entirely reserved for the Truffle Festival, but actually there is so much more to do. It's a very active area. I visited just a couple of months ago, and I was very pleased to see how much the area has developed also in terms of luxury accommodations, both villas and hotels. This is a 39-room new property. The colors are the beautiful hazelnut colors and wood that one would expect from Piedmont. And what is nice is that typically one would stay at the Lang area, which would have the new addition to the leading hotel of the world. It would be the Relais San Maurizio, which was formerly a Relais Chateau and now very befitting a leading property. But no property in the Barolo area, which is the heart of Piedmont and where most of the super wineries are located. So this is a very nice property that we are looking forward to seeing opening in the coming months, already this year. Down to Umbria, Castello di Reschio, which has been becoming more and more famous among luxury clients and jet setters, celebrities in particularly, always had villas that they handled here in the heart of Umbria. But in recent years, they've been working on adding 36 suites in the form of a hotel. And those will be adding further options to the current villas that are available there. Reschio is just absolutely beautiful, and the vicinity to the airport of Fiumicino is obviously a huge plus, because, as you know, traveling to Tuscany is always 3-hour drives, often more. So being able to do in a seemingly Tuscan countryside, this one is an Umbrian one, but immersed in nature and so close to Rome is an obvious advantage. So this is a little bit of the renderings. We are looking forward to seeing them opening just any day. As if this was not enough, we are going to have the Six Senses opening in 2023, 71 rooms, 79 brand residences. That's a new form, as you know, of lots of luxury brands would open both residences and rooms kind of as part of the same property. This is about 20 minutes drive from Perugia. So not really en route to Florence, so to speak, but it's really more, can be as a combo of Umbria and Rome into one itinerary. Again, I mean, it's kind of like we've had to wait almost a decade since we had so many great new openings, but here in Lazio we have Palazzo Fuji. Probably some of you know this property. It used to be a leading property, then closed and forgotten. And now the firm that we know from as Forte Village from Sardinia took it over, and they are making it just an absolutely over-the-top luxurious property that will be focused on wellness, opening year-round. And I hope that it would make Rome a much more of a winter destination, because you would combine wellness, spa, with the already fair temperate weather that Rome actually is great for. And so you could have guests coming in the winter time and combine a city stay and an outdoor, more country stay, just an hour drive out of Rome towards Tivoli. These are the renderings, and as you know, Forte Village is very famous for their health treatments. So that would be a big focus, both diet and nutrition and so forth. Laura, please help me with questions as I see they're coming through. Another Six Senses property will open in Rome this year. It's located very close to the Trevi Fountain. We don't know the brand in Italy yet. It's an absolute novità and big news for us. I know you know it all very well, and I heard great things about the brand, so we are excited to see what they will do in Rome. They took over a beautiful property. We still don't have renderings, but it used to be an old bank with more of an Art Nouveau fresco style, beautiful decoration. So this would be an absolute great addition to the city's properties, as you know. And in addition, the Tozzi sisters that we all love from both the Villon recently, Georgia, and Georgia is my mat mate. We do yoga together in Rome. Next to her property, the Villon, the Malo property will open. This is a property that is a sister property to Villon and also Capri Tiberio Palace. And to the team has now joined Martino Campora, that used to manage JK Capri for many years. It's a tiny
questions. If we want to answer them already before we move too far away, we have one from Tony, and I think he is referring to Six Senses in Umbria. Correct me, Tony, if I'm wrong, but the question is, will any of the residencies that you mentioned be available to short-term rentals, like for example, 1 or 2 weeks?
Yes, Tony, thank you. First of all, it's great to have you, and we miss you. So thank you so much for joining. Yes, I believe that they would offer exactly that, because we've been giving feedback to hotels when they ask us that what is needed, and is both hotels with villas stays as well. So we hope that those residences will also be open to guests that would want to stay for a week or two. We have similar examples, by the way, of Le Fay Dolomites. They do offer such accommodation options. I visited this past fall. So I believe this would be the similar concept, but I'll confirm that.
We also have just a second question from Celine, and is asking why the development is on luxury. And well, we are focusing the presentation on luxury hotels because this is what we handle as a DMC. But she was also wondering if these properties could be suitable for corporate clients. I'm not sure if Celine was mentioning a specific property or like all properties. So if Celine, you want to specify in the chat, then Uri can answer your question.
Yeah, historically, Perfetto has focused definitely on the Uber luxury and luxury travelers to Italy. And also most of our guests come to Italy on leisure. I mean, we know corporate travel mainly from the art cities. But more and more, you know, even resorts would accommodate corporate events. For example, Verdura would host a yearly the Google Camp. So I believe, you know, Italy is well befitting to all reasons and all type of trips. So definitely, I totally see like Palazzo Fuji, for example, becoming a corporate, you know, facility as well for those who want to do an event in Rome, perhaps outside of the city center.
Yeah, and Tony is just commenting that he sees a huge demand for private homes and villas, and so do we. I think lately we are receiving a lot of requests for villas, more than usual, and that's definitely a focus in terms of like the pandemic. I think a lot of clients will prefer to be together and be in more places that are a little bit more off the beaten path, and so not sharing a ground with other guests, but just enjoy private home, a private villa with their own family members. So definitely, Tony, we are also experiencing the same increase in demand for villas.
Yes, absolutely. I know that we'll speak about that as we go along, but there would be some hotels that already address that need and added villas to their properties. So we'll see that coming up. Well, the most exciting property, hands down for me, is the Bulgari in Rome. I love the brand. It's a Roman brand. It was just, we've been craving a luxury property in the heart of the Eternal City, and here it is. And for those of you who know Rome, it's in the most beautiful piazza that became the least beautiful piazza over the last century. That's Piazza Augusto Imperatore. This is the building that is overlooking the piazza and is just facing the Mausoleum of Augustus, which was a super important Roman monument in Rome, where Augustus, the first emperor of Rome, was buried, and is now completely restored and open to the public as of April. So that's absolutely incredible. We are going to see here maybe 100 rooms. And so that's very, very exciting, and definitely, as Bulgari does it, over the top. And as if that was not enough, Rosewood will open another property with 157 rooms. And it's going to be happening in Via Veneto. Via Veneto has lost a lot of its charm over the last couple of decades. And now, I hope with the opening of Rosewood, it would be restored to its days of gold and glory. It was an old bank that the Rosewood brand is taking over, and they've been looking for a property in Rome for at least 5 or 7 years. So yeah, it's going to be an amazing addition to the city. In Capri, you all heard the great news that the very modest hotel La Palma, which is a 4-star property in a great location, will become the first property of the Oetker collection. That is a German brand. Again, the agents that I spoke with know much better the company and love it. We don't know it in Italy yet, but I heard that the standard is absolutely impeccable. And Capri definitely needs such a great new refresher. For many years, there has been talks about the Quisisana becoming a Belmont or Four Seasons. Well, that's not going to happen as far as the Morgana family is concerned for the time being. So finally, the blue waters are moving a little bit around the island, and we have this brand new opening, not this year, but the next. A few renderings that we were able to gather. It would certainly be incredible. Down later in Sardinia, we have a property that will be managed by the Baglioni. You know, the Baglioni always had a property in Puntala, so they know how to do a luxury resort on the seaside. So this is a takeover of an older property. Set to open this summer. And you know, Sardinia has always been lacking a variety of luxury properties, so this is quite exciting. You're very welcome to email us with further questions. I know that we still have plenty to share, so I'm gonna continue. This summer past summer, I stayed in this lovely new property, a sister property yet of Forte Village. It's, you know, Forte Village was bought by a Russian owner that is investing a lot in all their properties. I had a great stay in Forte Village, by the way. And not far from there, in the city of Cagliari, where is the main airport to that part of the island, they opened a 72 rooms Palazzo d'Olio. It's a beautiful city hotel. And there is a private shuttle taking you to one of the most beautiful beaches in Italy. And it shocked me that at about $500 to €600, you could stay at a 5-star luxury hotel, have a private shuttle to the most beautiful sand beaches and emerald water. And it's just, you know, just about 500 or 600 euros as opposed to 1,000 euros you'd have to pay along the Amalfi Coast plus. So if you have honeymoon clients that want to maybe travel to have a coastal vacation and may not want to spend 1,000 euros a night, this is a very, very nice option. The service is great, the rooms are all new, and the city is lovely. So you can walk around, meet locals, and have a very authentic experience. They have a nice spa, very nice gym, and very nice neutral decor. Of course, the news also spread around our social media circles that the Four Seasons will open a property in Puglia, very close to Ostuni. It's you know, Four Seasons will elevate the entire level of the region. Puglia is already blessed to have many of those, and when I was there just this January, I was really impressed by lots of new villas and options that opened up, and we'll share a few of those. So here is a very large property, new development on the Adriatic Sea. Again, we will share with you more, and I'm sure that your friends at the Four Seasons will be able to share with you as well lots of details about this grand new opening. It's going to look something like that. It's you know, like a lot of those developments, they can end up being Four Seasons, they can end up being a Mandarin, they can end up being lots of things. Eventually, it will be a Four Seasons, and that's a blessing. I think, you know, for a country like Italy, we've been craving having large international brands coming and investing in the country. Very different than the Four Seasons, a small boutique hotel with 11 rooms. It's the Paragon, which is a tiny hotel that opened last year in Ostuni, the White City. It looks like that. It's just really beautiful, very large spacious rooms, as you see, very authentic, with a small, beautiful pool and lovely limestones that are typical to the city. And it's, just to give you an idea, it's about 20 minutes drive from the sea and from Borgo Ignazio and the area of Fasano. Palazzo BN is an old bank, another old bank that was taken over by a very powerful group that became friendly neighbors of our friends at Borgo Ignazio. They actually bought incredible amount of terrain there. It's a very capable, financial, very powerful fellow from Switzerland that decided to invest in Puglia and now took over this palazzo. I visited that in February, and it's more of a kind of a New York type of property. The apartments, this is, by the way, Tony, another example of like apartments in the heart of Lecce. So you have little kitchenettes and you know, espresso machines and all that. So it's really 20 minutes from the ocean and in the heart of Lecce. Prices are about 500-600 euros a night. So great value for, and the service is excellent. And you would have a really great city vibe. It also hosts the best gym in town, so incredible. Laura, by the way, I see questions popping in, but I cannot read them, so please feel free to interrupt me anytime if there is something pressing. Otherwise, we can take some questions afterwards.
Yes, I can ask you now, as some of them are related to Puglia. So the first question we have from Celine is, I think she's referring to hotels in the larger cities, so Milan, Rome. Will the hotels have parking facilities in these properties? Will they be integrated as a type of service, as we know that parking in the big cities in Italy is often a problem?
Sorry, what was the question, Laura?
If parking facilities will also be included in the hotels that we discussed in the largest cities of Milan and Rome.
There will be solutions. I guess each property would have their own solutions, and still to be seen. But of course, it's part of the service. Although few clients usually would come with rental cars to those properties, they would be able to address that definitely. Roccaforte is opening in Villa Igea in Palermo, a brand new opening. We wrote May, probably would delay for into June, or Anna Gricini told me May, end of May. But finally, Villa Igea will reopen, which would really give us the keys to Palermo and the property. Many of you, I'm sure, that been to Italy in the past and to Sicily know how strategic Villa Igea is to the city. It's like the Grand Dam of the west part of the island. Without it, we were really struggling to welcome luxury guests into that part of the island. And here we are with another great addition to the island. And as you know, we love to sell Sicily as a 7-10 day trip, almost as a trip by itself. So now one could fly into Palermo, stay a few nights here, go down to Verdura, proceed out to Taormina, and have visit Villa Piazza Armerina and maybe Agrigento en route, and have an amazing stay. I remember when a few years back we had to start always in the west part and end with Belmont, because one had to end on a high note, and now we don't really need to do that anymore. We can start in Catania and in Palermo, vice versa. There is great accommodation everywhere around. And it's nice to see those developments, after a decade or so, that more and more great hotels are opening across the country. The beautiful view of Mount Pellegrino and the Bay of Palermo, I know this would change the city as well. And as if that was not enough, this was a property that I know Ser Rocco also had his eyes on, but alas, it will become a Four Seasons and open very, very soon. The team is confirmed June, possibly July, but San Domenico Palace has always been such a gem. It's in the heart of Taormina, has the most spectacular frontal view of the ocean. And as you turn to your right, there it is. You can see it in the background, Mount Etna. There is no beautiful view probably in the world, or at least not many in Italy, maybe perhaps the Belmont in Ravello. So yeah, I haven't seen the new property yet, but I'm going to take a trip to Sicily in June to visit. This is a few of the renderings. And I know that they did a great job in making it a really top-notch property. We just received a great new kind of update from our friends in Borgo Ignazio that they are taking over 2 properties this summer. The first property would be in Cortina. Cortina is just about less than 2 hours drive from Venice. Kind of the door to the Dolomites, still in the Veneto area. And then later in Maratea, which is in Basilicata. Those 2 properties will be managed by Borgo Ignazio, which hope to also grow their brand across Italy. So that's their first attempt to do that outside of Puglia. Exciting. They don't have yet names or lots of data to share, but they did want to kind of whet your appetite with this nice new piece of information. A few words about villas. So, we often ask to, for luxury villas, say in Piedmont or in areas where villas are typically simply less common as a type of construction. So most properties actually are constructed or historically in Tuscany, in Umbria, in the Amalfi Coast and Capri, Lake Como, Puglia, Sicily, and Sardinia and Liguria. So we will show a few options here. Laura, I have a little technical problem here. If you don't mind just taking over for a second.
Would you like me to share my screen?
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, a few properties here. First of all, in the Amalfi Coast, we wanted to share a few of the new openings. So in the Amalfi Coast, we have this really great new opening right here in Ravello. It's 6 bedrooms with a beautiful pool just below Villa Cimbrone. And down later in Traiano, we have a beautiful property with 6 bedrooms and an additional 3 other smaller bedrooms. We were able to secure this property for several guests already for summer 2021. So that's has been very encouraging. I'll show you a few images here, and we can share with you the entire files of those properties. Both those properties, as well as the others we will show you, are properties we work with directly with the owners, of course, and I visited and actually stayed there myself. This one is still photos of Briano. This one is a villa that some of you are familiar with because we worked on those, and they just added new rooms and features. In Puglia, we have an additional villa with few additional bedrooms. So this was part of a larger complex, but this villa is a new construction with 3 bedrooms and a beautiful pool. And down in Tuscany, we have Villa Tosca that is located in the Maremma area, just very close to Porto Santo Stefano, not far from Il Pelicano, about 20 minutes drive from the ocean. With it can host about 18 guests in 7 rooms, because some of the rooms are very large and are kind of like have 3 beds in one of the rooms. But again, we have the entire files and we won't linger on each of those specifically. It has the largest infinity pool in Italy and beautiful views, and kind of, it's about half an hour drive from Saturnia. So in the southern part of Tuscany. Further down, a new addition, Tony, to your point. So Roccoforte added private villas with 3 and 4 bedrooms, about 20 villas. They're still working on the final renderings, because they're just about to finalize it any day or any week, but they're working it. I'm going to take a trip there again in June once it's ready and share with you my feedback as well. But it's all new constructions they will have the full service of the hotel.